Hello, I am Mariam Al-Jazeeri, a student at the Department of English Language and Literature at the University of Bahrain. Welcome to our Advanced Grammar series. In this video, I will talk about the rules of modals and phrasal modals. To start with, what are the modals? The modals are single words that always have the same form and they used to express ability, possibility, permission, or obligation. The modals in English are can, could, may, might, shall, should, ought, must, will, and would. Make sure to use modals before the base forms of other verbs. So, don't change the verb in the present or the past or the future tense. For example, you should say, Tom can speak French, not Tom can speaking French. In questionate negative, we do not use do with modals. I say to my friend, would you like a cup of tea? This is a correct sentence. It would be wrong to say, do you would like a cup of tea? If you want to use modal in negative form, just use not after the modal. That story can't be true. You can't say that story can be true. The modals shall, will, and would are usually contracted. I will watch the kids. But when we want to emphasize the modal, we use the full form, as in the second example. He will not change his mind. We usually use the forms could, might, and would in clauses after past tense verbs, especially in indirect speech. For example, it was very dark and he could not see anything. She said that she might buy a new car. Was and said are past tense verbs, so we have to use could or might or would after them. We do not put two modals together before a verb. We can earn money and we will earn it. You can't say we can earn money. If you want to put two modals together before a verb, you have to use phrasal modal. The definition of a phrasal modals are verb phrase beginning with be or have, which can be used instead of modals. For example, Sue is able to play tennis. In this sentence, is able to means can. Sue can play tennis. Another example is I have to go now means I must or I should go now. We have other phrasal modals such as be allowed to means can or may, be going to means will, be supposed to means should, and finally have got to means must. Modal and phrasal modals are share similar meanings and are used in similar ways, but they are not exact equivalents. We use phrasal modals instead of modals in 5 structures. First of all, we use phrasal modals after a modal because we can't put two modals together before a verb. For example, he will be able to visit you next summer. Will is the modal and be able to is the phrasal modal. Secondly, we use phrasal modals where an infinitive is needed. Remember that after to, we can't put modal, so we need to use a phrasal modal. For example, she hopes to be able to tell us the story. Thirdly, we use phrasal modals where a gerund is needed. Tony hates having to work after 5 p.m. Don't forget that modals always use in the base form, so when we need the perfect or the continuous form, we use phrasal modal. For example, in the perfect forms we say, they haven't been allowed to take photos. And finally, in the continuous forms, she is being allowed to cook in the kitchen. In contrast to modal, we can use two phrasal modals together. For example, I am going to have to go to the airport early. Am going to is the first phrasal modals and have to is the second one. Thank you for watching this video. It's prepared and presented by Mariam Al-Jazeeri, University of Bahrain. Special thanks to Dr. Lamia Al-Kawhaji.